Hello. Hello friends, myself Professor Sneha Matre. I am from Vidyavardhini College of Engineering and Technology working in the computer department. Today I am going to explain the topic that is C functions in C programming language. So we'll start with the topic. So basically we need to understand the function first. So definition of the function says a function is a basic building block of every C program. That means whenever we are writing a large C program, that programs are divided into small parts that is known as a C functions. So we'll see the definition of the function. A function is a group of statements that together perform a task. So every C program has at least one function, that is main function. Now everyone knows that whenever we are writing the C program without the main function, the C program can't execute. So we need to write the main function for every C program. So that main function is a user defined function. Okay. So every C program requires a main function. Okay. Now as I told you, the function is a basic building block where we are dividing our code into small parts. So I'll give you the simple example how the function works or how we are going to divide the functions or how we are dividing the C program into the function. So like I having C code with 100 lines. And in that code, I am just performing the various operations like arithmetic operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication or any other operation. So, I am just performing the addition operations at the initially or we can say that at the 10th line. Okay. Now, the same operation or the same addition operation I am just performing at the 50th line or the 70th line. So here I am not going to remember at which line I am just performing the addition operation. So I am just repeatedly performing the same operation. So to avoid this, what I am doing here, wherever I require the addition operation, that I am just combine into the functions. So the functions I am creating for the addition. So wherever required those operations, I am just calling that function. So in a function, I am just writing the addition operation. Similarly, in the same code, I am just performing this different operation like subtraction. So I am just creating the separate function for the subtraction, separate function for the multiplication. Likewise, I can create the multiple functions in the same program. So that will helps to find the program or it is takes very less time to execute the program. Okay. Now we'll see what is exactly the types of functions. Okay. So here we having the two kinds of functions. The first one is library or built-in function and second one is user defined or user designed function. So as I told you, our main functions where we are writing actual C program in the main function, so that is our user defined function, whereas the library functions are those where library functions are those functions which having the predefined meaning in the C language. So what are those functions in the library functions? Like a printf function, scanf function. So wherever you are using the printf function, that means this function is used to printing the content on the output screen. Scanf function which is used to take the inputs from the user. Likewise, we having the standard library functions also. So we having the mathematical functions like absolute, power, square root. Okay. Then we having the string functions also. Then what are the string functions we having as a string length, string compare, string concatenate. Okay, so these are the functions which are the libraries functions or the inbuilt function. And user defined function means wherever user is going to create his own function. So in the example, as we are creating the function for the addition, we are creating the function for the subtraction. So user is going to define that function. So that is a user defined function. Okay. Now we'll see the next function, that is a before starting with the user defined function, first we see what is the use of the function. So the first use is function is very much useful when a block of statement has to be written, execute again and again. So as I told you, if we having the addition operation, or if you want to perform the addition operation repeatedly, in that case function is very useful. Okay. Again, it is a useful for the large or the complex program. As I'm giving the example for the 100 lines code. So it is a very large code. So if you are using the function for the large program, so it will be very useful, or it will become very easy for that. Okay. Then functions are called to perform the each task sequentially from main functions. So as we are writing the function, or we are creating the function, so that functions we need to perform this sequentially. So it will be performing the task sequentially. Okay. So it will be like a top-down approach to solve any problem. Okay. Now functions are also used to reduce the difficulties during the debugging the program. Why it is reducing the difficulty? Because like in the program we need to perform the operations repeatedly. If I am creating the function, so wherever required, I am just calling that functions only. So it will be very easy to understand what exactly operations we need to perform. Okay. Now we'll see how we are going to create the. Okay. Now we'll see how we are going to create the user defined function. For that we need to follow the syntax. So what is the syntax to defining the function? Okay. So we having the 4 elements to defining the function. Remember these 4 elements. The first element is a return type. Second element is a function name. The third element is a parameter list, and the fourth one is a function body. Now what is exactly these elements? So these elements are required to defining the function, or we can say that create a function. So how to write the syntax to defining the function? First we need to write the return type, then we need to give the space after the return type, and then function name. After the function name, in the round bracket you need to write the parameter list, then the curly bracket and the function body. Okay. Now if you remember, the void main is also function, that is user defined function. You are writing the operations inside the void main, and that void main are enclosed with the open curly bracket and close curly bracket. Similarly, here we have to write the open and close curly bracket, and inside this curly bracket, here we having the function body. Now what is exactly the function body? The function body is that whatever we are going to perform the actual operations in that function. Okay. So we'll see what is exactly the definition, or how to define the function. Okay. So here I'm just writing as a function definition in a C programming consists of 2 parts, that is function header and function body. Now what is exactly the function header? Here return type, function name and parameter list. This is known as a function header, and inside the curly bracket we having the function body. Okay. So we'll see the one by one what are these elements in the functions. Okay, so here we see the 4 elements. So I'm just giving the description for these 4 elements. The first one is a return type. Okay, so the function may return a value. Every function returns a value. So like a main function having the return type as a void, because when function is not returning anything, so we having the return type as a void. A return type is a data type of the value the function returns. As I told you, whatever like I'm creating the function for addition, so it may return any value, addition functions. Okay. So it is a data type that function returns some value. So we need to understand what is exactly the return type. Okay. So the return type as a data type. So as you know, we having the data type as either integer, it is a character, it is float, it is double. These are the data types. So some functions are returning the value whatever they having the data type. Like a by default data type or the by default return type of the function is always integer. Okay, always keep in mind the by default return type of the function is an integer only. You can use as a void, float, double or the anything. Okay, so wherever we required or wherever we are suitable using the suitable data type, according to that we are writing the return type. So your function definition always start with the return type. By default return type is always integer. Okay, keep in mind. After followed with the return type we having the function name. Now what is exactly the function name? So it is a name of the function or the name, whatever the name you want to suggest for that function you can give. But this function name follows the identifier rules. Now what are the rules for the identifier? You already know that. The rules of identifier say that you cannot create the name with the digit. You have to start with the character or only one special symbol, that is underscore only. So you can give any name. Like for the addition function, I am giving the function name as a add, then addition, then capital ADD, small ADD, whatever, add 1, 2, 3, anything. Whatever name you want to give for the function, you can give, but you have to follow the rules for the identifier. Now, after the function name, we having the parameter list. Okay, so in the syntax, you already seen the return type followed by function name, and after that in the bracket parameter list. Now the parameter list means what? Like a description is given. The parameter like is a placeholder. When a function is invoked, you pass a value to this parameter. Okay, so these are the parameter means what? The basic or the simple way is that whatever input you are taking in that function, that input value you have to pass to this parameter. Okay, the simpler way is that, like I am taking the example for the addition. I need to perform the addition operation for two numbers. So I am passing the two parameters in this parameter list. Okay, so the parameter list refer to the type, order and the number of parameters of the function. Okay, so it is a contains the either it is contains a parameter or it cannot contains a parameter. We will see the different types of the functions. So in that I am just explaining what is exactly the parameter list. After the parameter list we having the function body. So what exactly function body contains? It contains the collection of statement or whatever actual operations you are going to perform in that functions. So that will be written in the functions body. Fine. So that is exactly the elements of the function. So these are the elements we require to define any function. Now we will see the example how we are creating or how we are writing the functions. Okay, so here we see the example for defining the function. Here the first line is my function header. As I told you, we having the two keys definition, that is a two key field of the definition, that is function header and function body. Now what is a function header? So first you have to write return type. Now here my return type is void. After that my function name, that is add. You can give any other name. In the bracket I am passing the parameter list. Now this is the syntax to define the parameter list. So what is the syntax? Like we have to define the data types and the parameter value. So int a comma int b. So this is a way. You cannot write as a int a comma int b. So this is the declaration we are doing in a normal C program, but in the parameter list you have to separate that variable with the separate data types. So we have to write as a int a comma int b. After that, everyone getting this line. After that, in the curly bracket, here you can see the open and the close curly bracket. So in that we need to define integer c. So this is my output variable. I am not writing the output variable in the parameter list. In the parameter list we need to keep only two variables, that is input variable, and then